Okay.
Oscar, you used to live in Tuluá, right?
No, no. I've been always here in Ibagué. Well, I was living in Tuluá when I started to study industrial engineer, but that was like 8 years ago.
Okay, but you studied that here at this university?
Yes.
Okay, and you got your diploma?
No, no, no. I didn't finish because, well, I love math, and I love engineering careers, but I realized that at that time I was getting into the English education, so I decided to start the career, and well, I'm still here.
Okay, great.
Time to finish.
How long have you been living in Ibagué?
I've been living in Ibagué for almost 4 years.
4 years. I am from Ibagué. Do you know that?
Yeah, you told me when we talked the time that we did the SEPTA exam.
Uh,
Yeah, you told me that you were from here, but at that
I
time
miss
you were
I miss
in.
Ibagué.
Hmm. Yeah, you're still in Willa, right?
Yeah, I am living here in Pitalito because my
Yeah.
husband is from here. Yeah, and
Okay.
I have been living here for the last 4 years.
Yes, when we talked, that was you were like just arriving over there and telling me that you were missing already the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was over here. I was working in San Bonifacio School, but since last year I'm working in Champagnat.
But do you know Leonardo Martinez?
Leonardo, he's a math teacher, right?
Well, I am not sure, but I think so. He is a little bit fat. He had some problems in that school, so for that reason he quit
Yes, in San Bonifacio, and
in San
then
Bonifacio.
he was
Yeah,
in Champagnat. Yes,
and Carlos Restrepo.
yes. Mm-hmm.
They used to study with me at the university.
Ah, okay, yeah, yeah, but I don't know where Leonardo is right now because when he was only 1 year in Champagnat, because he left San Bonifacio and then I left the next year and went to Champagnat and he wasn't already there.
Okay, but
So
I think he's working with Sena. I am
uh,
not sure. And Carlos, well, I don't know if he continues working with San Bonifacio. I
as
am
far
not sure
as
about.
I knew, he was over there, but I'm
Uh,
not sure.
okay, okay, stop the gossip, stop,
Okay,
and we can continue with our thing. Okay, thank you
okay,
for the information.
okay. For the heading news.
Yeah.
Okay, um, well, I was watching some classes in Champagnat. Unfortunately, the school has like this link with I forgot, with a group of schools, and the UNAD has the convenio. Forgot how to say that. So
Agreement?
yeah, I was able to make to watch the classes in the place where I work. It was also like kind of not difficult, but strange, like to check on my mates' classes. But I found some really good stuffs on what they are doing. So I watched a couple of classes with seventh grade and ninth grade. and I found this. Can you check? Are you checking my screen? Am I sharing?
No, I
No,
cannot see
you can see
your
my
screen.
screen.
No, no, I can't.
Let me do it again. Okay, now.
It's loading. Okay, I can see your screen right now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Champagne School have in English they have like a communicative approach and they're focused on that, but I think they need to split the classes and not only be focused on the communicative skills. There's something that I learned in San Bonifacio, and it is that as a teacher you need to approach to the learners and you have to know them, to profile them, and to profile the group. Because even though you can give classes to all the groups in ninth grade, the four groups, the three groups are going to be different and the way to approach to them and to the students has to be different. It doesn't matter if the week plan is the same. The approach to that plan for the students has to be different. So that's like the first thing that I think I will do to improve the classes or the English process learning um, is to spend at least 2 weeks doing that approach, knowing the groups. Because yeah, sometimes you know the groups, you know the students, but that's usually not happening. For example, when I was new over there, I was like, okay, you have your groups, start teaching, and they don't give teachers like the space or like these first weeks to know the students and most important to know what they like, what they dislike, the strengths and the weakness they have in order to make that English approach. Um, as I say before, um, according to that approach, you can know how the process can be. And well, I think that this I'm going to propose like some different orientations, not only the functional or communicative that they have, but also the structural, the cognitive, and the psychological approach, or the orientations to approach to those students to get the knowledge. Well, I'm going to start with the first one, with the structural. Um, well, some over there they forbid, there's a way to say, to teach the students like the grammar, like this is the subject, the main verb, and like the structure and all of that. But some students have the need to to know that because they don't handle in a good way their own language. I mean, they don't have good Spanish basis in grammar, so most of the time they don't even know what a verb is. So I think this structural part is very important in order to help them to organize ideas and and also we use over there grammar books, and these books have the structure. So it's like very difficult to put away that structural part and be focused only in the communicative skills. The good thing about this is that this process can establish a good language basis. As I told you, like to know the structure, to know what is a verb, what is a subject, what is an adverb, an adjective, well, all of that. And sometimes It's harder, I know, because we have to be Spanish teachers, because as I told you, they don't have like those bases in Spanish and they don't know what it is in Spanish. The bad thing about this is that we can, and it depends of the teacher, because I saw it in both of the teachers that I check. Um, Both of them made that structural approach, but the one that was in seventh grade, teacher Angelina, was doing this in like kind in a boring way, so the students were getting bored, even though it was one class that I saw students sleeping. So it's complicated to make it like very to motivate them to learn those structural rules and grammar rules. But I think it's important to for when they doing an exam, for example, an international exam, they have to know that the structural ways, because they can affect the grade. The other part, I don't know. You have any questions about this part?
Well, at the end.
Okay. The other part is the cognitive. Well, in the cognitive part, it is a way to show the students, and this is hard because is how are the ways that I show students how that information that I'm showing them, that knowledge, can work in the real life. I mean, how this is going to help them, because sometimes that's another thing that happens with some students. I saw it in some ninth graders students, that they ask to the teacher, how can I use this, or what is the importance of this if I learn it or not. I mean, it will affect my life if I don't do it. So I think, again, going back to the beginning of the presentation, if you know and profile your group, you know how to approach this part, and how you can make them conscious about all the information process that we do at class. A good thing about this is that this process can transfer the information into meaningful knowledge, and you know that the meaningful knowledge is a knowledge that is going to be with them for a long term or for all their life. The bad thing, or the difficult part, is like to get this knowledge, teachers have to plan uh, with another teachers from another subjects in order to adapt the knowledge. I mean, something about English is that as a language we can adapt any topic to any subject. So I saw it, and that was a good thing that I saw it over there. That they are, at least in ninth grade, they were planning together with biology, in order to make a project together. The project that have biology, they were with that project. It was the second year of that project, so it was nice to see how students get involved with the project that they already have, and they involve the language. As I told you, it was a couple of students that they weren't like happy with the project, so they weren't like very agree, or very enthusiastic about learn the same in English. And as experience that I have before in other schools, when you do that, when you plan together with another teachers, um, the the students see that unifying thread, and they see that all the knowledge came together, and they watch the same thing from other topics. So that's a good thing. The bad thing is that the school don't give, and I know it's hard for the school, but I also know that it's not impossible to do it. But for teachers to do this, they need time. I mean, because if it's not easy to plan a class by yourself, it's more difficult to plan a class between 3 or 4 teachers, in order to one goal. I have experience before about this the last year in the same school, in Champagnat school, and um, during a whole period I planned together with a math teacher for 7th grade students, and it was a project about movies. So they did a movie in English, but in math they have to search and research about how expensive can be, um, doing all the publicity and all the and well all the things that comes with doing a movie, and what do they have to sell in order to get that money back. And at the end they have to make um, a report in English about all that they did, and all of that. And psychological. Well, over here, it depends on the predispositions of the knowledge, the locations that we have, the dynamic teacher-student, and that's very important. I think that is the most important thing, and the stress levels, which are are linked with the teacher-student dynamics. Sometimes the teachers don't we don't check if the students are comfortable with you or with the way you're handling the class, and usually a student get tired of a subject, not because of the subject but because of the teacher. And I think everybody has a subject that they don't like, and when you ask them why they don't like that, they mention a teacher. So I think is something difficult to get for some people. For another people, is going like very easy. But I think it's very important to get that connection with the student, and in that way they won't be stressed when you have to to teach. In this case, both teachers, well, they were very different. Angelina is a teacher of 54 years old. She's 54 years old, and she's, let's say, old guard. And the other teacher, Andres Otavo, he's 29, I think, 28, and is a more dynamic class. So the way the students get into the class, it was very different. It was very different. The dynamic and how the teacher student dynamics weren't that good with teacher Angelina, and I think it's something very important, and that from you have the interview. It's at the beginning. I mean, when you're hiring the teachers, is something that you must check, like how are your students and the needs that they have, because as a teacher you have to adapt to the students' needs. So as a good thing, I put some teachers know how to get students and motivate them, even when they don't like the subject or topic. For example, it happened a lot that when you begin at the beginning of the year, a student come to you and tell you, "Hey, I'm the one who's going to lose English. You're going to watch me always like in the revival exams." And but at the end, and I had a few experience that at the end, I had some students who tell me, teacher, because of you, I started to like or or like from the beginning they tell you because I have this experience with those teachers, I don't like your subject. And the bad thing is that some teachers can generate apathy to the subject and make students to get stressed about the same one, even years after, as the example that I told you. And the last part, functional communicative. I put it this at the end because, as I told you, that's the way or how the learning are focused, the communicative part, and I think it's very important because this one prepares them to real life, and it's good because well, how they took it in the school, they put these communicative skills. um, this makes you to get out of the classroom and make them feel another kind of situations, a real life situation. So it's good in order to, this makes you as a teacher be more creative and break the class rules. Let's say, like always you have to be sitting this way, or the teacher is going to be always speaking. Well, so the good thing about this is that this prepares them to deal with real life situations. And for the ones who learn English, I think the most of us have the experience that when we live abroad, we feel like some insecure of our skills because we haven't practiced like enough. So I think this part gives the students more confidence in those skills, in those communicative skills. The bad thing that I think is about this is that some learners can be lost or insecure owing the lack of these skills in their native language. So it's difficult for shy students to work on these communicative skills, or that to put you to speak in public, or well, let's say the it's to make them, and over here I go back to the psychological part, to make them to do things that they don't like. I mean, if I know speaking public is very important, but if they don't like, if they don't enjoy that in their own language, so we as a teacher, we can make, or we can give another ways to show us that they have the knowledge. Well, that was all. Um, I didn't put anything about the technology part because I think school handled it in a good way. All the classrooms have computer, have video beam, and the teachers, well, the two that I saw, they usually do at least one activity per class where technology is mixed. Also, in ninth grade, when they were making their posters, they were able to use their cell phones in order to search and the needed information. And it was nice to see that the teacher was like checking on them on how they were looking for the information and teaching them a new ways or better ways to use that tool that they have to learn is not only for chatting, and also I saw the teacher show them like different websites where they can get different information like from Google. That was all.
Okay, excellent. Very good. Well, to summarize your presentation, I think your proposal is based on adaptability, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Adaptability and update your performance as a teacher in order to follow the needs that our students have.
Yes. And but as I told you, it was like both teachers were so different. That's why I choose them. Well, also because of the schedules. But they are so different, and I wanted to do that like in my class companion, like watch different things, like to learn from two different kinds of learning. But I saw that the adaptability that we have or over there or that they have, it's something to improve. Uh,
Okay, okay, good. Excellent. Thank you, dear Oscar. Thank you for taking the time in order to be here with me. I
no,
really
thank you
appreciate the time
for
that you have
giving
spent here.
the opportunity. I know that I asked you for Saturday, but it was they gave us some extra work because, well, as you know, all of this that is happening. So they gave us well um, like two more platforms to give to students. So we were the ones who have to put the students in at the platforms and all of that. Monica, I have a question. I was checking yesterday the grades for the task before this one, and it says that it was on delivery, but I uploaded on the folder that we have. I thought that we have to upload it over there. The ones
In the
that
forum or in a folder?
no in the
In a
folder.
well,
'Cause
let me
I
see because you have to send it to the monitoring and evaluation environment.
yes, I think that I forgot to do that. Yeah, but if you check the time that I uploaded on time.
Okay, I will evaluate it. Okay, no problem. Thank you
Okay,
for
thank
letting
you.
me know because I didn't have idea.
Yeah, I think that well, you opened the folder over there, so I thought that all the words we have to all upload it there, and well, I forgot the evaluation. Um,
Okay, but that is similar if we have in a face-to-face education. So
yes,
you let the
the
homework in the
students.
bathroom, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
right.
okay, no problem, no problem.
Okay, thank you very
Okay,
much. Okay,
okay,
so
no problem. Okay, bye. See you.
okay, bye.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you. Same to you.
Bye. Thank you.
Have a nice
Bye.
one.
Bye.
Bye.